Hey, everybody. Welcome to our final discussion of the series, our final recap of our final discussion. So, this is our discussion series, and we've done this for 2 or 3 years now. This is sponsored by the Center for Teaching and Learning, the CTL, by the library, by the Accessibilities Office, and by the Multicultural Office. So, we bring everybody together every 2 or 3 weeks. We talk about topics, we talk about things, we talk about, ways that we can always be thinking about how to make what we do for the school even better. This week was uh, accessibility beyond the the bare minimum. It was called something else, I'm sure, something that sounded better, but that was the idea. So the idea with accessibility, you know this. I'm your librarian, Mary. I'm not the accessibilities person, expert, but the idea that, don't make someone tell you that you have to be good to your students and that you have to provide a an accessible, a worthwhile, a useful experience for them, whether you're in the classroom or you're doing other things across the college. I mean, who would do that? Don't do that. Uh, so going a little bit beyond just the basics, I think is important. And I think it's important to be thinking about that. And even those of us who really, which are all of us, right? Those of us who really do want to make sure that our materials are accessible, our classes are accessible, everything that we're providing is accessible to our students across the campus so they have a worthwhile experience, which is the point. We don't always know how to do that, right? I've already given the disclaimer, not the expert. So down below, I'm going to have a few links to things that we shared before class, and then links to some things that we ended up talking about in this discussion. So, 'cause, yeah, we ended up going to a different place than I was expecting. All right, so let's talk about where we went instead with our discussion. So instead of kind of just how do we move beyond some basics, we have done a couple of videos already this semester or this year about some basic requirements for accessibility. If you have questions, please reach out to the Accessibilities Office, reach out to the library, and I'll look stuff up for you. But this was a very full discussion. And when we got there, the in-person discussion really revolved mostly around the upcoming law in April 2026, federal law that's requiring a variety of accessibility for everything online. So for some of you, this isn't going to be a lot. There's not going to be a lot to do, but I think for most of us, there's going to be a lot that we're going to need to do. I'm not going to mention anybody by name, but a couple people put their heads down on the desks and thought sad thoughts. It's not necessary. We're going to get through it. And in fact, we talked about putting together a whole series of training materials to make sure that you feel confident and comfortable in making your material accessible. But just know that whatever you have online right now needs to be, by the legal definition, accessible. What that means is regulated. So we're going to walk through some of this, and I will have all of those links down below. By the time you see this, you've already seen the links. They're right there. So let me start sharing my screen here, and we will start looking at the fun stuff. Now, this was, I believe, the first thing that I shared before our session. UDL guidelines. We've talked about universal design already. I think it's like a couple of videos back. So I'm not going through this website, but just so you're prompted, you're thinking this idea of the universal design. This website has this very cool chart, and so you can go to support here and then the representation here or action and expression, and it's a lot. It's a lot when you're just getting started. You don't have to read this entire chart. You don't have to figure every single thing out on the chart, but just think if you have a video or if you have a handout or you have a PowerPoint or you have an activity, every single thing has to be made accessible. Not, I'm just a standard person with a standard reading level or vision level or whatever the average of all of that is. And if that's me, that's not enough. If it works for me, that's not enough. It has to be able to work for all of our students. I know I'm kind of skimming through this, but there will be more information to follow. And I will say more what I would think of as hand holding because that is what I would want and that is what I do want. Let's look at the law that we're talking about here. So, this is from the Federal Register, the Daily Journal of the United States Government, them. Um, so this was passed a couple of years ago, and I'm not going to scroll through this whole law, but there you go. It's interesting. This is going to tell you exactly um, what we need to do to make accessible services, programs, and activities that go through our web and mobile applications. So think about everything you have on the web. Do you have student documents? Do you have a D2L page? I'm just going to footnote, you should have a D2L page. Come talk to me if you don't have one yet. And this applies whether you're teaching online or not, because I mean I don't teach anything online here, but I have a bunch of documents up on the web, and all of them are going to need to be adjusted so that they are, for example, all my documents are going to need to be readable by the machines that read for people who have visual impairments. And right now, I can tell you that my documents today do not. They don't meet that standard. They're PDFs. PDFs are not helpful. Uh, there's going to be a lot. I just want you to kind of be thinking you have a lot of things coming towards you. All right, so this is again from the government, the federal government, the U.S. Department of Justice, and this is some of the first steps here that everybody should be taking to comply with these laws. So I kind of like this, and again, I'm not going to scroll through this whole page, but I'll link it below because I do feel like this gives some nice, I like when they tell me beginning level or tell it to me like I don't have any idea what you're talking about because I don't. I like that. So you can see all of these nice action steps over here. And obviously, number 9 is prioritize which content to fix first. We're all about to have a summer off. And I mean, off is not the right word because, of course, many people are coming in still every single day. And I don't think there's a single person on this campus who's going to be off for the summer and never doing work. That doesn't happen. As you are having maybe some quieter time, though, over the summer, be thinking, all right, well, let me start going through my D2L page now. Let me start going through my page on the SETCC website now. What are we holding out to the public? What's going to need to kind of get fixed? It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of things. It's going to be a lot to work on. Take a deep breath, remind yourself, we still have nearly a year to do this, and there will be help. All right. So as I'm sort of skimming over and saying, there's a lot of work coming to you, try to remember to take a nice deep breath. Help is on the way to help you get through it. All right, so this is the fact sheet that, again, from Department of Justice about the web content. You can read through this, but I think we've kind of got the idea already. Okay, so what does this actually mean for us? I've kind of hinted at PDFs, videos, online projects, papers, documents, thoughts, I don't know, whatever you're doing online, um, which is wonderful. And you should be doing things online. Don't be discouraged by the fact that we're going to have to do a little bit of work here. We're going to do a bunch of work and then it'll be done. You'll be done. So this is from eCampus News. And this walks through some strategies for how to meet this requirement. And maybe I like that it's kind of talking to us some specifics about what kinds of things we're going to need to be thinking about. So when I talked about over the summer while things are a little bit quieter, if you are like me and maybe you didn't know about this, or we should have known, Avery's been telling us, but I confess it sort of went in one ear and out the other for me also. Um, and now I feel really guilty about that. This summer would be a great time to go ahead and start just auditing. What does your D2L look like? What is the most important thing? which documents are you going to need to have day one when the fall semester starts? What are we going to need to make happen immediately? So, for example, almost all of our digital library resources, this is obviously a huge issue. I have 780,000, well, more than 780,000 different items that are in our digital collection. Every single one of those 780,000 things needs to be accessible. So, our vendors have been working on this with us, for us. And one of the things that we are doing to make sure that things are accessible is that most of the documents that we now have, but not all, there will be a link that students can, or anyone can click on it, and it can be read to students. We have many of our documents are PDFs because for most people, without visual impairments or people who don't struggle with such things, a PDF is probably an easier format to read. But if you are using some sort of reader, then the PDF is not a good format. And so we have HTML versions of documents. My vendors are really in control of most of that part of it, but it's my responsibility to go through and see what's done, what's not done, where are we, who do I reach out to, how do I get this fixed? And then, of course, we've produced a ton of material in the library, and I will need to be personally going through every single thing, redoing everything that we have that's a PDF to make sure that it is readable, accessible, going through, I don't know if we have PowerPoints, but you, no matter what you're doing, you probably have some PowerPoints laying around. Do you have weird colors that can't be easily seen? Stuff like that is going to need to be updated. It's not the end of the world. We're going to get through it, but it's going to take a while to start your comprehensive audit and see where you are. So this is just an article that I found from the League of Minnesota Cities. The reason that I'm linking to this at all is just because this is a law that impacts state and local um, government sources. That's us. We're a state and local government agency. Uh, and I think it was kind of helpful in kind of giving me a little bit of background. So if you want to scroll through this, you can. If you don't care about the history and all that, it's perfectly valid. This is some information that the University of Minnesota put together on this new law, and then the importance of it, the impact, and this is what they are doing. So things that they're saying are important. This is what the U is doing. It's not necessarily what we're doing, but it kind of made me think a little bit. So if it's useful to you, fantastic. Again, I'm just putting up a couple of examples of what other colleges are doing. This is UNC and their accessibility compliance plan, and just figuring it out. I mean, again, doing the audit, looking and seeing, hey, what's up? What should I be doing to make things better? And start figuring out what could you do today? What's one thing that you could do today? You're not going to fix it today. You're not going to fix it this month. You're not going to fix it all this summer. Or, I mean, I'm going to be totally impressed if you do. Please come tell me how you did it. But what can you do now? And then keep making a plan. Which documents need to be updated in July? What can you be doing in August? Because you're going to start being busy with the semester starting again. What has to be done by day one when the semester starts? What is just, there's just no question. You got to be done with this for yourself. What are you going to plan to have done by January 1st when spring semester starts? I mean, I don't know. As you know, am not the boss of you. So be talking to your boss, be talking to your supervisor, be talking to your dean. And yeah, because that was my last thing. So I'm going to stop the share. I feel like we all kind of came to this discussion and everybody felt a little on edge, and possibly a few of us felt a little more than on edge. There was no actual weeping, but crying on the inside. That's okay. We're all going to take a deep breath. We're going to be here to help everybody get through this. Um, and I think everybody now, as we're starting to look at this, we're all kind of seeing, oh, for a lot of us, this is going to be a bunch of work. You're going to have help. You're going to have some guidance. We're going to start making some checklists. We're going to start making some nice little just training programs, but and to try and reach out to you before you start requesting help. But are are you already thinking of something? Oh, I know I don't know how to do this. Okay, great. Put that on your list. Send me an email. I do not promise to be able to help you, but I will work on figuring out how to help you. Over the summer, that might be a good time to try and make appointments to talk with Avery in the accessibilities office. As you know, our accessibilities office is literally so busy, literally overwhelmed when the school year is really rolling. So whatever you can do earlier than that is going to be helpful. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to put work on you that's outside of your contract. I'm not trying to make anybody not the boss of you. I'm a librarian. But as you're just thinking for yourself, as you're trying to make life easy for yourself, I support making life easy for you. Let's see what we can all do to kind of work together. Talk with your deans and see, is your dean making a plan for this? Is your dean kind of putting some ideas together that maybe could be pushed across a bunch of people so everybody is not individually replicating things? Just keep in mind, you know how busy you are. You know how busy I am. You know how busy accessibilities is. Nobody's not that busy. Everybody is already working so hard. So when you start reaching out for help at the very last minute, I hope for you. let's let's see what we can do to just be starting to think, how am I going to make my material online accessible? Put more material online, have more stuff. Once you get all of this done, fantastic. Look at you. I mean, that's again, I know I said this before, but I mean, the whole point is we're here to serve the students. We're here to make sure that they get good education. And I've said this a million times already during this entire series, but I mean, I'm a person who likes to talk. I don't think that's not a secret. But if what you are doing is just thinking, I will just say words and that will be enough. Come on, come on. We're past that. We're past that idea of education. We're here to do what we can to make sure that we are all, I mean, everybody, and I mean literally every person across this campus, we're all here to make sure that the students have a good educational experience, that we are not overly stressed and freaked out because we waited till the last minute on things, and that I want to make sure you have some level of guidance that you can potentially use if it's helpful for you to get underway. I feel like I've said too many words and also maybe not enough specific words. I don't know. This is the start. This is where we're going to start. So when we're thinking about accessibility, be thinking that this is important. All right. More will be coming. Please reach out to me, reach out to Avery, reach out to your deans, especially. They are the boss of you, and see where we can go. See what can people do to help out. But maybe be thinking on your own too. Hey, what am I going to need? What am I going to have to get started on? What can I foist off onto those librarian people? That's fine. All right. I will see you in the video. Have a really great summer, and I'm already looking forward to our discussion series in the fall. Thanks. Bye-bye.